Good afternoon, good evening, good evening, everyone, wherever you're at in the world. Welcome to Last Rouse Baseball's live commentary of the Nippon Professional Baseball League. Tonight, we are going to be bringing you the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles and the Hiroshima Carp, as it is exhibition game number 2 that we are calling. It is the second game in a row we've called of the Eagles. First time we're going to get a look at the Carp, as we will have the lineups here for you. They have just come available. Nothing like exhibition baseball from Japan, where you have to wait right to almost the last minute till they get everything ready for you. We've been ready for this, chomping at the bit over the last hour, and nothing has come available until the last couple of minutes before the ball game. So we're going to start off. We'll give you the starting lineups for the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles, and then we will follow up with the Carp for you as it comes available. Leading off for the ball game right now is going to be Naoki Sato. He will kick it off, and he is going to be leading off to face, going for on the hill tonight for the Hiroshima Carp. It is going to be Taichi Taka who takes to the hill. So we are ready to get this one underway. And the first pitch of the ball game is delivered, and this ball is swung on. And this ball is going to be delivered right to straightaway center field. And Sato has opened the ball game with a solo shot. First pitch he sees from Taka is deposited into almost straightaway center field. And Sato has given the Eagles a early 1-0 lead. So all smiles all the way around as he comes back to the Eagle dugout, and 1-0, the Eagles are out in front. And that is going to bring up Arui Muniyama to the plate. As I mentioned, it's going to be a little bit of a challenge here as we're trying to get all the lineups here going as we can possibly do it. Muniyama, left-handed hitting shortstop, takes a first pitch inside for a ball. The count is quickly 1-0. Muniyama was a rookie last year, and he is basically the favor of Mickey to be the shortstop. They've moved Muribayashi pretty much over to third base. Takes a fastball under the hands for a called strike. The count now goes even to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Left-hander for the Carp with a rude welcoming on the first pitch of the ball game. Here's the offering. And it is a breaking ball that just misses up and away, and the count now goes to 2-1. So 2 balls and a strike. There are other games in the NPB tonight, and we'll try to keep you up to date on those through the evening as the Fighters and the Dragons are going head-to-head. Here's the pitch. Fastball taken for a called strike. Count runs even at 2-2. That was a very similar place to where the breaking ball was just a moment ago, but that now runs the count even at 2s. Left-hander against the left-hander. Muniyama waggling the bat as he holds himself to the set position, and Taka now kicks and delivers. There is a breaking ball that just misses low. Oh, the catcher for the Carp not in favor of that, as he really held the pitch a little extra long for the home plate umpire. Had him set up outside. He did hit his spot. I thought the ball was well received, but it did look like it may have been not quite the location where the umpire was comfortable making that call. There's a fastball swung on, and it is lifted foul over on the third base side, and the count remains at 3-2 to Muniyama. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. Again, the lefty working from the belt. He works from the stretch position. Taka ready to deliver. Kicks and fires. It's a fastball that is waved at and missed. And that is going to put Muniyama in the books. He's gone for the first out of the inning. He's down on strikes. And that'll bring up Itsuki Muribayashi. Well, we got our friend Brandon Jensen in the house tonight, as well as Steve Rademacher. We expect those guys to be somewhat regulars throughout the season. We're always pleased to have you in the house where we can. So this is going to bring Muribayashi to the plate. He gets the start tonight at third base. Batting from the right side against the lefty Taka, who kicks and fires. It's a fastball that misses outside. Count is 1-0. Muribayashi a couple years ago was the favorite as the shortstop, but with the addition of Muribayashi, he has moved over to third. Not sure what they're going to do with Asamura this year. Fastball taken for a called strike. The count runs even to 1-1. Asamura was the second baseman for quite a while, and then last year they kind of moved him over to third. So 1 ball, 1 strike as the lefty Taka works to the set. Pitch on the way, fastball taken for a called strike. Count now goes to 1-2. Also, at this time of the year, also curious to see the number of pitchers. Certainly the Fighters the other night used 9 in that game against the Eagles. Eagles used, if I remember correctly, they used 6, but they blew a 4-run ninth inning lead, and I have a feeling that that could be a problem with the loss of Norimoto. As that breaking ball misses down, the count now goes to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Norimoto, of course, moved his services over to the Murray Giants, and it looks like that they're no longer going to use him as a reliever. They're going to put him back in the starting rotation. So 2 former Eagles, Masahiro Tanaka and Norimoto, going to be getting starts in the Giants rotation this year. 2-2 pitch on the way. Fastball swung on, grounded over to third. Fielded neatly by the third baseman of the Carp, who fires to first, and Murray Bayashi is going to be gone on a ground out 5-3. He's gone for the second out of the inning. That is going to bring up Fumiaki Kurikawa. Check that, Shio Kurikawa. I get a couple different translations. So Kurikawa stepping to the plate. He gets the start at second base tonight. So left-hander Taka is settled down after the leadoff home run to Sato. 1-0 Eagles have the early lead. Pitch on the way, fastball taken at the knees for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. So no balls and a strike. Fumiya Kurikawa batting here against the lefty. And the pitch on the way, fastball just misses outside. It's now 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Yukiya Ito will wait his turn on deck. As we mentioned on the in-between, we'll get you the cut up on the Carp lineup with everything that had dropped just before the game. There's a breaking ball swung on. It is grounded up the middle, and it's going to get past the glove of the second baseman, Katsuda. And it's a 2-out single for Kurikawa. He's aboard, and that'll bring up Yukiya Ito to the plate. Ito getting the nod at first base tonight. He saw action in the game the other night, so Ito getting a chance to play. Going to be followed by Daichi Suzuki. Ito steps in, gives the affectionate nod to the home plate umpire, and we're ready to resume the action. Left-hander against the right-hander. Taka holds at the belt, now delivers. Breaking ball catches the inside corner for a called strike. Count is quickly 0-1. Left-hander against the right-hander. Bit of an open stance there for the right-handed hitting Ito. Pitch on the way. There's another breaking ball that misses outside, and the count goes even at 1s. I think it's going to be a long year for both of these ball clubs this year. Certainly the Eagles are in a time of flux. Friend Brandon Jensen says, how's the attendance for the game? It's pretty sparse. Spring training game, or practice game as they call it, as they throw over to first base. I would say if there was a couple of thousand fans at this game, I'd be impressed. And the weather tonight is not exactly beautiful. It is a bit overcast. Rain in the area. There's a fastball swung on. This ball's lined into left field. It's down the line. It's going to be extra bases. It's going to get all the way to the wall. Rounding third and holding on the brakes is going to be the base runner Kurikawa, and into second with a double is Ito. So the Eagles, with the leadoff home run, and after a couple of quick outs, they're now threatening again here, and that's going to bring up the veteran Daichi Suzuki to the plate. Suzuki getting the nod as the designated hitter tonight. The other night it was Hiroto Kobakata who had that opportunity. And as I would expect in these practice games, like in the exhibition games, they'll probably split some of the lineup up. We saw that the other night where they might get 6 innings in 3 or 5 and 4. Certainly the veteran players. The younger players, they want to maybe get a longer look-see. So runners at second and third, 2 gone here. Eagles looking to add to their early 1-0 lead. Lefty holds set, now delivers. Fastball misses down. It's ball 1 to Suzuki. Suzuki is like a fine wine. He gets better with age. Eagles tonight are wearing their maroon tops and white pants. The Carp are in their all-white jerseys. In a lot of ways, thank God for that, because I don't know if they've changed their numbers, but they had run numbers on red jerseys the last couple of years, and it's absolutely difficult. There's a fastball swung on it. It's lined right to the glove of the first baseman. Oh, a nice diving play by the first baseman, Kota Hayashi. He hauls it in, and that is going to do it here for the Eagles. Well, they threaten for more, but they come away with 1, as there was 1 run in the inning on the benefit of 3 hits. There was no errors, and there was 2 runners left aboard. We are through a half inning. Your score is the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles 1, the Hiroshima Carp coming to bat. Stay with us, everybody. We'll be back in just a bit. Appreciate you for listening in on the Last Rouse Baseball YouTube channel. It is Carp and Eagles. More action when we return. Welcome back, everybody. It is Tatsuki Koja who is on the hill tonight, the lefty for the Eagles. We'll give you a quick rundown of the lineup for the Hiroshima Carp leading off tonight. And it will be Ren Hirakawa. Batting second will be Naro Katsuda. Hitting in the 3 spot will be Taiki Ishihara. In the cleanup spot will be Yasuzu Sasaki. Kota Hayashi hits 5th. Batting 6th will be Shoichi Fudamata. In the 7th spot, it is Kaisuke Sato. 8th spot, it's going to be Konsuke Tatsumi. And batting 9th will be Atsuma Nishikawa. So I'll have to get used to those fellas, as we haven't really watched the Carp a whole lot in the last couple of years. But Ren Hirakawa up, left-hander against the right-hander. And the first offering on the way is a fastball swung on it. It's hammered up the middle. So both pitchers lose their no-hitter on the first pitch of the ball game for each one. And so we don't have to worry about that being in the news tomorrow. So a single off the bat of Hirakawa, he gets things going. And that is going to bring up the second baseman in Naro Katsuda. Katsuda gets the nod at second base tonight. Be followed by the catcher, Takaki Ishihara. So the left-hander works himself to the belt, and now he throws over to first base, and diving back easily in time is the runner Hirakawa. Don't have a lot of stats for you in this exhibition at this point. We're just calling the practice games and trying to get a feel for some stuff. As we mentioned last night, we're trying to get a opportunity to practice calling the games as the World Baseball Classic will be coming up. There's a fastball under the hands to Katsuda, taken for a called strike. Count is 1-1. So no balls and 1 strike. Lefty against the lefty. As Katsuda waiting here, wearing the number 0, and there's a fastball swung on. It's chopped over to third. Muribayashi goes to second for 1, back to first, or I say, and back to first. It's not going to be in time. That's going to be a fielder's choice. Katsuda is going to be safe on the trail side. Hirakawa's gone for the first out of the inning. It's going in the books as a 5-4 putout. And that is going to bring up the catcher in Takaki Nishihara. As Ishihara comes to the plate. He steps in, batting from the right side here against the lefty Koja. Koja holds to the set. Checks the runner, and now he fires over to first base and diving back in time easily as the base runner. If you guys are popping in, we're going to probably end up with a couple more games this week. We were mentioning that the Taiwan series, that the Japanese teams, the Fighters and the Hawks, are heading to Taiwan. They're going to be playing a 4-game series, a couple of games each. The Hawks will be taking on the China Trust Brothers, and then they will be taking on the Taiwanese World Baseball Classic team. As the lefty Koja holds set. Now he kicks and delivers. There's a fastball that misses down. Count is 1-0 to Ishihara. And then the Kaido Nippon Ham Fighters will take on the Taiwan World Baseball Classic team as well, Chinese Taipei, if again who you ask. And then it's going to be, they're going to play the Dragons the final day. And we'll look to be on at least 3 of the 4 games. So hopefully you can saunter in there with us. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. Lefty kicks and fires. Fastball under the hands, taken for a called strike, and the count goes to 1-1 on Ishihara. One ball and 1 strike as the lefty gets the sign from his catcher, Ishihara. So both catchers tonight are Ishihara's. Of course, the Ishihara behind the plate for the Eagles, we like to refer to as the Alejandro Golden Kirk. Runner on the move, grounded over to short. Fielded by Muniyama. He throws to first, as that's going to be the only play. He's going to get Ishihara. Katsuda is safe at second, as he was on the move. They had no play for him, so it goes to the books as a ground out, 6-3 for the second out of the inning. That's going to leave it all up to the third baseman in Yasuso Katsuki, and I have to Sasaki, as I have a problem with the enunciation of the names. That's Yasuso Sasaki. As I mentioned, some of the Carp players in the lineup tonight I'm not as familiar with as others. So here comes the first pitch to Sasaki. Bats from the right side. Pitch comes in. Fastball taken for a called strike. Count is 0-1. But it also gives an opportunity to be able to watch and see some of the players that we're not as familiar with. Don't do a lot of games in the Central League typically. At least I haven't in the last couple of years. We did more last year than we probably ever had. Do more games in the Pacific League. Lefty again holds to the set. Here's the 0-1. Delivers fastball swung on, grounded foul down the line at first base. That's going to run the count now to 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. Carp looking to answer as the home run off the bat of Naoki Sato has given the Eagles 1-0 lead. Of course, Sato, the former Hawk, in his first year with the Golden Eagles. Sometimes a change of scenery does things good. It was the draft that he was taken in. It's almost like, we call it the Rule 5 draft, but basically it's almost like an equivalent of that. Active players, new lease on life for him. There's a fastball down. Count now goes to 1-2 on Sasaki. Sasaki to be followed by Kota Hayashi here in the first inning. So again, the lefty Koja getting his sign from Ishihara. The infield is all dirt, much like the one the other night for the game that was hosted by the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles. Very similar to what you would see at the Koshin Stadium. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away. And the dirt is interesting because it's almost like a black in color, almost, when you think of Japan, how the volcanic area is, unlike when you think in North America, the Georgia red clay, the red dirt, certain places more of a sandy color or brown color. And this one here is definitely black. It's amazing how they're able to keep their uniforms so pristine at times. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Lefty again holding set, now delivers. Fastball swung on, grounded to the left side, fielded, bobbled now by Muniyama. He picks it up, he throws to first. It's offline. That's going to go as an error to the shortstop. So he bobbled the ball initially, dropped it, and then when he had to hurry to make the throw, he threw it offline. I don't think they're going to give him 2 errors on one play, but he's definitely going to be charged with an error. It's going to stop the runner, Katsuda, over at third. So now you got runners on the corners with 2 gone. Instead, the starter Koja could have been out of the inning, and now you just add a few more bullets to the... He's going to have to use up out of his gun tonight. I don't know what the pitch count will be for the starter. If they have one, probably would give him a couple innings of work. So in steps Hayashi, batting from the left side. He got the start at first base tonight. As Koja waits, looks at the runner over at first. Checks Sasaki again. Here's the pitch. Fastball taken at the knees for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike to Hayashi. Hayashi's a big fella. He wears the number 44. A la Reggie Jackson's fame in North American baseball. That's what I think of when I see 44. And the pitch on the way is a fastball swung on and lifted foul down the left field line. It's going to slice into the seats. Brandon Jensen asked earlier, how big is the attendance for tonight's game? Down the left field line, it looks like you're going to have souvenir night. It looks like there's about 1 person per section. Not a big crowd in Okinawa for this game here. As we said, probably, if I had to guess, a couple thousand. They do have shelter in place behind home plate between about first and third. And then the grass in the outfield, everything down the lines is open space. So no balls and 2 strikes to Hayashi as the lefty again works to the set position. Koja gets the sign. Checks the runner, now delivers. There's a breaking ball swung on and another one fouled away over on the third base side. The count remains at 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes. This is the 5th hitter to come to plate at the inning, and the Carp are looking to get on the board with their first run, trying to answer the Eagles back. I would expect a pitching parade from both teams again tonight, as it is early in the spring. Here's the 0-2. Pitch on the way, breaking ball down in the dirt. Nice stop there by Ishihara. Runs the count to 1-2. Wolverine is in the house. We thank you for popping in here tonight. It's a little exhibition baseball action early on here, and we're glad we could bring it to you. Here comes the 1-2 pitch as Koja holds to the set. Checks the runners. And now delivers. It's a fastball swung on. It's grounded up the middle, and it's going to get past the glove of the second baseman, Kuroka, into center field. Stopping at second is going to be Sasaki, and Hayashi has even the scoreline with an RBI single. And we are all locked back up even at 1. So an unearned run here, as unfortunately the shortstop Muniyama decided to play soccer with it. The last batter was Sasaki extending the inning, and then Hayashi making them pay. So we are at a 1-1 ball game now. And that is going to bring up the designated hitter in Soichi Fudamata. And this is, as I was saying before, if I don't want to predict ill will certainly on anybody, but this is probably what you're going to be looking at a lot this year with the Eagles. A young team in flux, and hopefully manager Mickey will be able to do what manager Shinjo was able to do with the Fighters a few years ago, get them playing good ball. Fastball misses up and away. The count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. And for those of you who are making it in here, we're glad you guys could join us. And make sure you bookmark us for the season as well. Here's the pitch. Fastball swung on and missed. Count is 1-1 to Futamata. We're looking forward to making the call on all the games, as many as we possibly can. Lefty again, Koja ready to deliver. Holding to the set. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Kicks and fires. Fastball swung on and lifted foul. It's going to reach the seats over on the first base side. Count now runs to 1-2. And just as the Eagles, as I've been kind of harping about tonight, are going to find it a tough season to row over in the Pacific League, I think the Carp are going to be in tough too. But I guess thank God for the Swallows, because the Swallows are definitely going to be challenged as well again this year. Pitch on the way. Fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into deep left field. This ball could be trouble. And this ball is going to get off the wall. Picking up is the left fielder Nakajima. He fires it back in, and another run is going to cross the plate as Futamata has got himself a 2-out double. And that is going to give the Carp a 2-1 lead. So an RBI double. Stopping over at third is Hayashi. In to score is Suzaki. And that error by the shortstop Buniyama here in the first inning is looming large, because that's going to cost a couple of runs here to Koja. That ball was absolutely smoked. It short hopped the fence. It took a wicked hop. Came back toward the field of play in right center field. It was barehanded by Nakajima as he played it off the wall. Was able to fire it in. In fact, the wall, it's padded out in the outfield, but there looks to be about a 6-inch gap between the ground and the padding. And where it hit was underneath the padding. And that's the way that goes. Well, now we've got one of the always popular numbers, number 94. This is going to be Keisuke Sato coming to the plate. Sato batting from the left side here against Koja. As the lefty holds to the set, now delivers. There's a fastball swung on, and this ball's belted into center field. That's going to get one in. Picking it up and firing it in, and they're going to try to pellet plate two. The throw to the plate is going to be in time to nail Futamata. It's going to be a single for Sato. He gets himself an RBI. The play at the plate to gun down Futamata goes 9-2 for the third out of the inning. And to score was Hayashi, and that is going to do it here for the Carp in the first inning. They send 7 batters to the plate. They score 3 runs in the inning on the benefit of 4 hits. There was an error, and there was 1 runner left the board. Your score, as we are now through 1 complete in Okinawa, it is the Carp with a 3-1 lead over the Eagles. We'll be right back after this with all the action on the Last Rouse Baseball YouTube channel. Glad you could hang in here with us tonight. Hopefully you guys will listen through to the end. Welcome back, everybody. Lots of scoring in inning number one. The Eagles took the early 1-0 lead off the Batasato with a first pitch home run to open the scoring. And then it was 3 runs, all came after the error by the shortstop, Rui Muniyama, to give the Carp a 3-1 lead. The first pitch delivered to Daisuke Nakajima was taken a fastball down and away for ball 1. And a fastball just misses inside for ball 2 as it tried to move him off the plate. Nakajima, the left fielder here, to lead it off. He made that play in that last half inning off the wall to keep the ball from darting off into left center field. There's a fastball taken for a called strike. Count now goes to 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike. Taka back on the mound for his second inning of work. As the lefty works himself to the belt, now delivers. Pitch on the way. Fastball misses upstairs, and the count goes now to 3-1. Ishihara waits his turn on deck, and he will be followed by Yoshino Soshi. As the lefty kicks and delivers, there's a fastball swung on. This ball is hit to straightaway center field, but on a line right to the glove of the center fielder, Hirakawa, and that will retire Nakajima for the first out of the inning. That ball right on the screws. And he is gone for the first out here, and that is going to bring up the catcher, Tsuyoshi Ishihara. As we talk about Ishihara, he looks like the Japanese Alejandro Kirk. And the first pitch fastball, I'm not sure where that was, misses inside for ball 1. Just as it is spring training for the players, looks like it's spring training for the umpires as well, as the plate umpire here has missed a couple of pitches. I have to say, though, our view is rather off-center, and it's hard for us to make the calls when the second base umpire is standing right in the way. There's a fastball taken for a called strike. Count is 1-1. We have the extra burden of the second base umpire in the way. Second base umpire hardly moving at all. We got to maybe move that camera a little bit to the left, boys. 1-1 pitch. Breaking ball swung on it, is popped up over on the left side. Moving back underneath it and calling everybody off is the shortstop, but now he's got to battle the wind and finally able to come up with it after having to battle with it is the shortstop at Sumo Nishikawa. But he is able to put it away. He did not make that look anything routine at all. We saw this the other night, that the balls would get hit into the air and then we would have an adventure. And that's exactly what that was there. There's a first pitch that is nubbed foul over on the first base line. Count is 0-1. This is Eagles 9-hole hitter Yoshino Soshi. He gets the start in right field tonight. The other night it was Yuya Ogo getting his start. Pitch on the way, fastball down. Count goes even at 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Lefty Taka working again. It's interesting that they really haven't done a whole lot of changes to the uniform, the Carp, over the last couple of years. I remember when I was in Hiroshima 3 years ago, and they had there's that little strip down the back, that red strip, and I forget what it is. It has to do with the Carp. It's kind of a neat little piece. Got it on all the jerseys, on all the white jerseys, that is. Here's the pitch, the 2-1 on the way. Fastball swung on and lifted foul into the seats over on the first base side. The count now goes even to 2 balls and 2 strikes on Soshi. I often say this about starting pitchers: if they can get through a first inning, usually they can get tough after that, especially when they find the release point and they're able to get a feel of the mound, all dirt mound. Pitch on the way. There's a breaking ball swung on, and it is tap foul on the third base side. Count remains at 2 balls and 2 strikes. If you just joined us, a leadoff home run to begin the ball game by Naoki Sato gave the Eagles a 1-0 lead. And then all the runs came on an error by the shortstop Muniyama. Well, they didn't come on it, but they led to it as he made an error off the bat of Sasaki, which could have ended the inning. And there's a fastball swung on it, breaks the bat of Soshi. He grounds it to short. They throw to first. He's in the books for the third out of the inning. That's a ground out 6-3, and that's going to do it here for the Golden Eagles in their half of the second inning. They had no runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody left the board as they go in order. We're through 1.5 in Okinawa. Your score is the Carp 3 and the Eagles 1. Stay with us, everybody. We'll be back with all the action in just a couple moments right after this musical timeout.
Hello, this is Eric Fox, formerly of the Oakland A's and Texas Rangers baseball teams. If you want to learn about Japanese baseball, see Coach Fred with Last Raps Baseball. If you want baseball instruction, see Coach Fred. If you want to learn about golf, do not go to Coach Fred. Fred, what kind of club is this?
At Last Raps Baseball, we know baseball. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the bottom 8 and 9 in the batting order, and then number 1 to come to bat. So that means it's going to be Kensuke Tatsumi, Sumo Nishikawa, and the top of the order, Ren Hirakawa, to get things going here in the bottom half of inning number 2. So just getting ourselves, as we said, caught up. The lineups really came in late. And I say late, like as in 5 minutes to the top of the hour. I guess that's what you have when you have spring training games. So we had to scramble a little bit to get our lineups in place. Here's the first pitch of the ball game, or the first pitch of the inning. It's taken for a called strike. Count is 0-1 to Tatsumi. Tatsumi getting his first at bat here in the hole at 0-1. As the lefty rocks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on. It's grounded to the right side. Fielded neatly by the second baseman, and that is Kurakawa, who throws to first. And Tatsumi is retired on a ground out 4-3. So 1 up and 1 away. It's going to bring up the shortstop in at Sumo Nishikawa. And Nishikawa steps in. Our friend Brandon says, Eric Fox, yeah, we're going to have to do a couple of commercials when he comes up here. Have a little fun with it. Wolverine says, are there any potential future MLB players on either team? That's a great question. Here's the pitch. It's a fastball swung on, and it's going to be lifted foul into the seats over on the third base side. Count is quickly 0-1 to Nishikawa. I think right now there's a couple of, I say, question marks. There's a breaking ball taken for a called strike. Count goes even to, or sorry, count now is 1-2. We lost a ball there to the hitter. We not only are we in spring training mode, sometimes the scoreboard is as well. 1 ball and 2 strikes. And there's a breaking ball waved at and missed. And that is going to retire Nishikawa for the third out of the inning, or the second out of the inning. It's going to bring up the top of the order and Ren Hirakawa. Sorry, Wolverine. I'm trying to do multitask. Our friend God is Great is also in the house tonight. Titus, welcome. To say too early to tell right now, there's nobody that pops for me as a prospect off of either of these two teams at the moment. The Eagles are in flux. There's a fastball that misses up and in. Count is 1-0. As the lefty ready to go again. Pitch is on the way. There's a fastball swung on, and it's lifted foul over on the first base side. With regards to the Carp, even there, I don't know if there's anybody that really pops at the moment off of their ball club. The guy that I really like for the Carp is one of their starting pitchers, Masato Morishita. And to me, he looks like he would be a pro prospect, or at least a major league prospect, or somebody that they'd be interested in. He's in his mid-20s now. Breaking ball misses upstairs. But you never hear a whole lot about him talked about. In fact, he's not even on the classic team. Here comes the 2-1. Pitch on the way. And it's a fastball belted into left field. This is going to be down. It's going to get all the way to the wall, and it's going to be extra bases. Rounding first and heading to second is Hirakawa. He's going to make it with a stand-up double as the throw goes in toward third. So a 2-out double off the bat of the leadoff hitter Hirakawa. And that is going to bring up Katsuda to the plate. Yeah, so that would probably be the only player that I would say is potentially somebody that you could be looking at of the Japanese players. But there's never really been any talk about it. He's a pretty steady pitcher. He's a power right-hander. But there's never been any talk or any speculation if he would go. And as I said, he's not on the classic team, and I'm not really sure why. I've seen him pitch live, and he's very impressive. Here's the pitch. Fastball misses up and in. The base runner, Hirakawa, took a little extended lead at second base, and then he scampers back safely. So 1 ball and no strikes to Katsuda. And then with the Eagles right now, as I said, they've got too many guys that are either too young or they don't project, at least in my eyes. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away. Count is 1-1. And of course, as I mentioned before, both of these teams, it's a little bit of a shame. The Carp, as strong a following as they have, they are a very popular team in Japan. And I just don't really see them. I just don't see them as they try to pick off the runner at second base and easily getting back as Hirakawa. I just don't see the Carp making the playoffs this year. I think it's going to come down to a 4-team race, and it's not going to include the Swallows or the Carps. And in fact, it might not even include the Dragons, although the Dragons have gotten better. Here comes the 1-1 pitch as Koja kicks and delivers. Fastball swung on. This is lifted into right field. Oh, having to go back on it and still going back and making the catch as he backpedals is Soshi. But that is going to do it. Boy, Katsuda hit it a long way, but not long enough, as he is going to be retired for the 3rd out of the inning. And the Carp here, no runs in the inning. There was a hit, the double by Hirakawa, no errors, and 1 runner left aboard. We are now through 2 complete. Your score is the Hiroshima Carp 3 and the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles 1. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple moments with all the action right after this. Welcome back, everybody. It's going to be the top of the 3rd inning. It'll be the top of the order to come to bat for the Eagles. It'll be Sato, Muniyama, and Muribayashi. Sato got this game going early with a solo shot home run, almost a straightaway center field, on the first pitch that he saw from the starting pitcher Taka, who is still in the ballgame. And then it was 3 runs by the Carp as they answered at the bottom of the first. That is where we stand right now. It is a 3-1 ball game as we now move to the top of inning number 3. So left-hander Taka completed his tosses. We're ready to resume the action. Taka kicks and fires to Sato. It's a fastball that misses outside for ball 1. 1-0. Keep an eye on the different players and the substitutions throughout the ball game here. As I said, probably we get to the halfway point where most of the managers will make their changes. There's a ground ball struck over to short, fielded on the run by the shortstop Nishikawa, who fires to first. Sato is in the books on a ground out, 6-3. He's gone for the first out of the inning, and that's going to bring up the shortstop in Rui Muniyama. Wolverine says, "Gotta love the energy in the stands." Yeah, well, it's not all the stands though, and that's the one thing that sometimes people miss out on. It's the supporters section, like you'd see in a soccer game in the end zones, left field, right field, those areas there. As Taka delivers, it's a first pitch fastball that misses down, and the count is 1-0 to Muniyama. So 1 ball and no strikes. Most of the rest of the side, but I will say this: the fans are engaged. They know what's going on in Japan. They appreciate good baseball, much like when you go to Fenway Park in Boston. There's a fastball that misses inside. The count now goes to 2-0. You go to Fenway Park, they'll even cheer for the visiting team if they lay down a good bunt or sacrifice somebody over or hit behind the runner. They appreciate good baseball or good fundamental baseball. Whereas you get to other parks and people don't know the game, or don't watch the game even when they're there. Here's the 2-0. Breaking ball taken for a called strike. The count now goes to 2-1. And the problem with that is that I remember I was in Seattle one time, and it was the Marlins were in town. And it was the Taiwanese pitcher. There was Chi Min Wong or whoever it was that was pitching. Had a no-hitter through 7. They went to the bullpen, still had the no-hitter into the 9th inning. And with 1 out in the 9th inning, most people in Seattle had no idea that they were ready to witness some history, because that fastball had moved Muniyama off the plate. The count goes to 3-1. It was Kyle Barraclough had given up a single with 1 out or 2 out in the 9th. There's a fastball swung on and grounded foul over on the first base side. I mean, heck, your team's losing whatever the score was, 5-0, and you got a chance to witness history. How many times do you ever? I can think of how many games I've been to in my life at the professional level. I've never seen a no-hitter. Here comes the 3-2 pitch. Pitch on the way. Fastball swung on and lifted foul over on the third base side. Count remains at 3-2. Getting a chance to see a no-hitter at a pro game, that would be pretty amazing, whether it's the home team or the road team. Especially early in the season, month of April, where it's not like that game may affect your standings. So 3 balls and 2 strikes to Muniyama. 1 gone here in the top of the 3rd. The starter Taka still on the mound. He delivers. Fastball swung on. Popped up over on the left side. Moving over underneath it again, battling the wind, is the left fielder. And it is going to be Sato who's going to haul it in, and Muniyama is going to be gone for the 2nd out of the inning. So nothing is quite routine in Okinawa, as it looks like it's swirling winds, as we saw the other day when the game between the Fighters and the Eagles were taking place. Well, that's going to bring Atsuki Muribayashi to the plate. Muribayashi 0 for 1 tonight. Grounded to third his first time up. As the lefty kicks and delivers, there's the breaking ball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. Muribayashi stands very deep in the batter's box. As the lefty Taki ready to deliver. He kicks and fires. There's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count goes even at 1-1. As we mentioned earlier, our next games that we're going to look at, and to try to do those games with the Taiwanese teams. There's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count goes to 1-2. I'll try to put that up. I'll see if I could try to squeeze another one in this week. I don't think I'm going to be able to do anything else this week. The games are just too early for the starts, but possibly on the weekend. And of course, we get into the World Baseball Classic. We'll be on the call for some of those. There's a fastball that misses down, and the count now goes even at 2-2. Excited to call some of those games, some of the late night games as well. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Lefty again works himself to the set. Now kicks and fires. Pitch on the way, fastball swung on and missed. They're going to tag Murayama. Is he gone? Or did he tip it and not hang on to the ball? It looks like it's going to be a foul ball. Looks like Ishihara unable to hang on to the 3rd strike. And as the ball went down to the ground, he applied the tag to the batter as if to suggest that, no, you just dropped the ball, but no, it was foul tipped. Smart heads-up play by the catcher. And there's a breaking ball waved at and missed, and Murayama is gone. He's gone for out number 3. And the Eagles go in order 1, 2, 3. That is 7 in a row retired by the starter Taka. They got no runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left the board. We are now moving to the bottom half of the 3rd inning. Your score is the Carp 3 and the Eagles 1. I have a feeling we're getting a pitching change here. Manager Mickey is out. And we'll come get that for you when we come back in just a couple of moments. 3-1 Carp as we move to the bottom half of inning number 3. Stay with us, everybody. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back, everybody. Well, the pitcher is still in the ball game, and we're just trying to get sorted to see who the substitution will be for the Golden Eagles. It looks like that it is a number 30, and that might be Shiganaga as an infielder, and it looks like he may be going in at 3rd base. I'll have to get a confirmation of that one, as my understanding of kanji is limited to nil. I'll have to take a look and see where they have got him posted up, or did they put him up in the middle infield? But it'll be Ishihara, Sasaki, and Hayashi to come to bat here. The 3, 4, and 5 hitters to face Koja here in the 3rd. I was ready to bet dollars to donuts that was going to be the end of the night for the starter Taka, but I guess I would have been wrong on that one. So we'll wait and see how this is going to shape up here as time has been called. Not sure what the delay is. The home plate umpire has stepped over into the left-handed batter's box. They're all looking towards center field. And we are now, looks like, ready to resume the action, as the first pitch is forthcoming here on its way to Ishihara, and it's a fastball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. No balls and 1 strike. As I mentioned, I haven't got the updates on my stuff yet. There's a breaking ball waved at and missed, and the count now goes to 0-2. By the looks of it, it could be that Muniyama's night is done, but wait and see here what the official announcements are. There's a breaking ball swung on, and it's grounded foul over behind home plate, and the count remains 0-2 to Ishihara. No balls and 2 strikes. I'll also keep you posted on action from around the NPB. In the 4th inning, it is the Dragons leading the Fighters 3-1. As the lefty kicks and delivers, there's a breaking ball swung on and grounded foul over to the third base coach's box. Count remains at 0-2. Giants have a 2-0 lead over the Chibalote Marines. That is in the fourth inning as well. And that gets you caught up around the NPB at the moment. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Koja delivers. Fastball swung on, hammered foul into the netting down the right field line. Count remains at 0-2, and now it's starting to become a battle here with Ishihara. So no balls and 2 strikes it remains. Lefty leaning in, getting the signs. He works himself to the belt. And now he kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball swung on and another one grounded foul past the third base coach's box. And the battle continues here with Ishihara. Ishihara grounded to short his first time up. He was the second out of the inning. And then, as we mentioned, it looked like it was going to be an easy inning for Koja. And that's when the error shows up, and the next thing you know, the wheels start falling off. There's a fastball missing up, and the count goes to 1-2. There's a lot expected out of this starter here for the Eagles. I would anticipate that he is going to be potentially the ace of their staff. There's a fastball swung on its line, foul down the right field line, and the battle continues with Ishihara. 8 pitches already in this at bat. Back to the comment about Wolverine earlier where he said about the energy in the stands in Japan. There's a breaking ball down. Count goes to 2-2. And it's when the teams are hitting. It's in Taiwan last year. I got a chance to see the Taiwanese league. And there it's a little different. They play music during the players at bat. They have the cheerleaders up on the dugouts. They have somebody leading the cheer, and fans are going crazy because of that. And that's when the home team hits. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is going to be lined into right center field. It's going to get down for a hit. It's going to be cut off by the right fielder, Soshi. He fires it back in, and Ishihara wins it. That was a heck of an at-bat. A 10-pitch at-bat. He gets himself a base hit single into right field. And that is going to bring up Yasusu, or if I say it correctly, Yasusu Sasaki. That pitch was left up in the zone, and boy, did Ishihara not make any mistake. He stayed inside the ball, went the other way. Good piece of hitting by the catcher of the Carp. That brings Sasaki now to the dish. He is officially 0 for 1. He reached on the error that ended up opening up the floodgates that brought home Katsuda with the first run. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is belted into deep left center field. This ball is going to get trouble. It's going to get down. It's going to get all the way to the wall. And to pick it up is the center fielder Sato. Rounding third and being held at third is going to be Ishihara. And that is a double for Sasaki. And that puts runners at second and third with nobody out. Boy, he went down and got it. That was not an easy pitch. It was middle in at the knees, and he basically turned on it and golfed it right into the gap. That's a strong piece of hitting there by Sasaki, and that's going to bring up Kota Hayashi to the dish. Hayashi tonight is officially 1 for 1. He singled, drove in a run, and scored a run in his first at bat. Batting from the left side. Eagles have the defense in. There's no grass, so they're each couple of steps in front of the bag. As the lefty Koja holds to the set, here comes the pitch. Breaking ball down, and the count goes to 1-0. A little early for my liking for the infield to be in, but it is spring training, and you get a chance to work on some stuff, and you might as well take advantage. So 1 ball, no strikes to Hayashi. Lefty again working to the set, checks the runners. Here's the 1-0. Breaking ball down, now goes to 2-0. You may not want to have anything to do with Hayashi here. They may want to face Futamata, who waits his turn on deck. would set up a force situation, but real difficult spot here. We've got Gracie Lynn in the house. There's a fastball that misses down and away, and it's now 3-0. They might as well just put the fourth finger up and put him on. Gracie Lynn says, how's the game been? It's been an interesting game. All the scoring in the first inning. Lead-off home run on the first pitch of the game by Sato to open up the scoring for the Eagles, and then Carp scored 3 runs in the bottom of the first. There was 2 outs, and an error made by the shortstop. Munyamba brought home the first run, and then 2 more cashed after that, which would have been the 3rd out of the inning. There was a fastball at the knees taken for a called strike. Count is 3-1. So unfortunately, that is where we stand right now. And it was the second baseman, Shiganaga, has come in. So they've made some changes defensively. Moribayashi is now over at short, and Munyama's night is done. There's a breaking ball taken for a called strike. So in the spot for Munyama in the batting order is where Akira Shiganaga has gone in. Here comes the 3-2 pitch as the lefty delivers. Koja delivers, breaking ball down. They appeal to the third base umpire, and they said he didn't go. That's going to be ball 4 as Hayashi has drawn himself a walk. So he's going to load the bases here. Bases full of Carp. Nobody out here in the 3rd inning. They get a chance to really blow it open if they can. It's going to bring up Suichi Futamata to the plate, who doubled home a run his last time up. He eventually was gunned down for the 3rd out of the inning at the plate. Carp have still got their infield in. Eagles still have the infield in on the Carp. As Futamata steps in. So left-hander here against the right-handed hitting Futamata. Eyes got to be lighting up like saucers in this situation. Here's the pitch. Fastball misses up and away, and the count goes to 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Eagles need outs. Outfield right now in normal depth. So they'll concede the run to take an out there, but I find that to be interesting, why they would do that. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into deep right field. Should be deep enough to get the run in, and it's going to be off the wall, and it lands on the padding on right field. The right fielder goes in to pick it off, and it's going to be a double for Futamata. He's going to knock in a couple of runs as he goes the other way. That was interesting. The padding on the wall all the way around the outfield, and then there's like chain link fence that goes up probably another 6 feet beyond, and the ball literally landed on top of the padding. So the right fielder for the Eagles, Soshi, had to go in, take it off of the padding, which he did. It wasn't stuck there, and he fired it back in, and that's going to increase the scoreline now to 5-1 for the Carp. Here in the 3rd inning, in the score was Ishihara and Sasaki. Hayashi stops at 3rd. They're still not out of trouble, are the Golden Eagles, as there's runners at 2nd and 3rd. It's going to bring Keisuke Sato to the plate. Sato is 1 for 1 tonight. He singled home a run in the 1st inning. As the lefty Koja working to the set position, here comes the pitch. On its way, breaking ball swung on. It's going to be hit into left center field. And it looks like there's going to be plenty of room, tagging at 3rd and coming home to score, also tagging at 2nd and advancing is Futamata. So Hayashi in to score. It's a sacrifice fly off the bat of Sato, and he's going to get himself an RBI. He'll be the 1st out of the inning. Advancing to 3rd is Futamata. In to score the 6th run of the game is Hayashi. And that'll bring up Kosuke Tatsumi to the plate with 1 gone. So the Carp here are doing some damage. But again, as we said the other night, exhibition play, a lot of things can happen. A lot of things can go crazy. Of course, one of those things that can go crazy is the 9th inning of the game the other night when the Fighters shoved 4 on the board to tie the Eagles. Here's the first pitch. Fastball swung on and fouled down the right field line, and the count is quickly 0-1 to Tatsumi. One thing I'll say about Koja is that there's not a lot of late life on his fastball. His fastball is pretty much straight as an arrow. Doesn't have a lot of depth, not a lot of cut, no arm side run. And he's left a lot of balls up in the zone tonight, and he's been hit hard, not just in fair territory. Some of the foul balls have been absolutely driven. Here's the 0-1. There's a breaking ball, waved out in the dirt, and the count now goes to 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. We had quite a few people listen to the game on delay the other day, and we thank those of you who do come back and listen to the games on delay. I was telling our friends in the channel, I was telling Steve Rademacher earlier today that we had almost as much watch time or more after the game was done. Breaking ball misses up and away. The count goes to 1-2 on Tatsumi, which is nice. It's nice to know that people aren't just hanging around for this one. They'll come back and listen to the game later on. I thought about calling games on delay, like in other words, going back and doing the replay if I couldn't get the game live and then just calling the game as it was. I wonder what kind of audience we would get from that. Same time, we'd get people probably coming into the stream knowing what the score is and blabbing away. There's a fastball swung on. It is grounded up the middle. They've got the runner from third hung up between third and home. Here comes the rundown, and they're able to get it. But the runner, Tatsumi, able to get all the way over to second base. So a nice piece of base running by Futamata. Futamata is going to be retired. It's going to be on a fielder's choice. It's going to go into the books as 4-2 to 5. I'm going to look at that replay again. It just went past Koja. They gunned him down at the plate. They had him in that rundown. Ishihara got him. They probably could have ran him a little bit further, but they end up getting the runner out. It's going to leave Tatsumi at second base on that fielder's choice, and it's going to bring up the shortstop, batting in the 9-hole at Sumu Nishikawa. So here's the first pitch. It's a fastball swung on, is grounded up the middle, fielded by the shortstop Moribayashi. He fires to first, and that is going to do it. It's a ground out 6-3. Our friend Gracie Lynn's asking some questions, and we'll come back and try to answer those in just a few, as we're going to take ourselves a little break here. That is going to end the inning here for the third out. Trying to look to see where that second out was, but there it is over there. The first out was Futamata. Sato out for out number 2, and then number 3 was Nishikawa. Hang tight, everybody. Gracie Lynn's got some questions. We'll try to answer the best we can when we come back. It is a 6-1 lead for the Carp as they are ahead here of the Golden Eagles as we move to the top of inning number 4. Welcome back, everybody. We have a pitching change as the Carp are going to their bullpen. It looks like it's going to be Shogo Tamamura who is coming on in relief. So he is the first reliever out of the bullpen as he's going to replace Taka. So Shogo Tamamura, a big strapping left-hander, will take to the hill here for the Hiroshima Carp. Our friend Gracie Lynn asked the question, and 26 players make the opening day roster in the MLB, and there's usually only a couple of spots up for grabs. Yeah, depending on the team, of course. I mean, some teams might have more, depending on where you're at. But that being said, is there similar in the NPB? No, not really. I think it's 27 on a game sheet, I think is what you can put. And I don't know if they're like Major League Baseball, you got options where you can send guys up and down. There's only 70 professional contracts in the NPB. There's a breaking ball taken for a called strike, count as 0-1. And generally speaking, if a guy gets hurt, I don't know if there's so much an injured list, but they get sent down or they take off the active roster, but they bring somebody up from the pool. So it's not like you've got 4 layers of minor leagues as that breaking ball is swung on and lifted into the stands. So it's no balls and 2 strikes. So when you look at the teams, you've got 27 on the game sheet. And as we've talked before, mentioned before, you can only have, I think it's 4 imports on the game sheet at one time and 3 in the game at one time. So that plays a bit of a factor too. There's a breaking ball that is waved at and missed, and it'll be the retirement here of Kurokawa. He's gone for the first out of the inning. So 1 gone here, and that'll bring up Yukiya Ito. We're scheduled to bring up Ito. So I don't know if that really answers your question proficiently or not, but basically you have a limited pool of players in which you can call up at any point in time from your second team. There's a fastball that's catches the outside corner for a called strike. Ito didn't like that. Ito 1 for 1 tonight, doubled his first time up and was left stranded at second base. I think of some of the moves that are made in Major League Baseball, they have to be on the 40-man roster. From that 40-man roster, there's a fastball swung on it. It's grounded over to third. Oh, what a great diving play by the third baseman of the Carp, Sasaki, to rob Ito. Gets to his feet, guns him down, and he's going to be gone for the second. Oh, that's a gold glove play right there. So 2 gone now, and that'll bring up the designated hitter in Daichi Suzuki. Tell you, if Sasaki can make plays like that all season long, I don't have to worry about going and get import players to play the hot corner for the Carp. So Daichi Suzuki coming to the plate. There's 2 gone. He lined out to the first baseman his first time up. The first offering here from Tamamura is a fastball swung on. It is lifted into shallow center field. Coming in underneath it is Hirakawa. He's going to be there to make the catch. And Suzuki's going to be gone for the third out of the inning, and that will do it here for the Eagles in their half of the fourth. They go quietly and in order. No runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody left the board. We are now moving to the bottom of the fourth inning. Your score is the Carp 6 and the Eagles 1. Stay with us, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple of moments with all the action for you on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. Hang with us. As he is in our stream tonight, we like to always honor a little bit about Steve, but we'll tell you who he is first. He's coming up with some new content for us for the 2026 season, so we'll review some of the old.
This is Steve Rademacher, and I'd like to introduce you to my channel if you haven't seen it before. These are all the things I enjoy: sports, autographs, relics, non-sports Hall of Famers, pseudo-sports, Star Wars. That's my channel name and my name, and I would really appreciate it if you would come check me out and maybe even subscribe if you like it. Thank you for that for now, and back to your ball game.
Welcome back, everybody. Sota Fujiwara is the new pitcher. The right-hander is just completing his tune-up tosses, and he will have to face the top of the order in Hirakawa, Katsuda, and Ishihara. Fred Gracie Lynn said, sort of answered a question because more curious if there's more roster spots available to compete for in the spring. Yeah, I think because of only the two teams that they have there, you're just going to be an opportunity for players. It was interesting a few years ago. In fact, during the pandemic year, it was the Hanshin Tigers had like 8 import players signed to the 70 contracts, which was crazy. There's a first pitch fastball that comes inside, and it's taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1 to Hirakawa. Hirakawa tonight is 2 for 2. He's got a single and a double in 2 trips, but that was against the starter Koja. As the pitch on the way is a fastball swung on. This ball is going to be lined into left field, coming in hard and making a shoestring catch. Oh, a nice catch there by the left fielder. Really well done there by Nakajima. He gets the smile and some admiration from the pitcher as he is going to be retired for the first out of the inning. That is Hirakawa, that is. And that is going to bring up the second baseman in Katsuda. And the first pitch on the way to Katsuda is a fastball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. I have to say, the stuff that Fujiwara is flashing here tonight, way better stuff than what Koja had through his first 3. Pitch on the way. Fastball misses upstairs, and the count now goes to 1-1. So again, interested to see what the mindset of the Eagles will be, if we may see multiple innings here from some of those who are considered relievers. There's a fastball swung on a grounded foul over on the first base side. The count goes to 1-2. So ball and 2 strikes. Fujiwara gets himself a new baseball. He's ready to go back to work quickly. 1 gone here in the last of the 4th. 6-1, the Carp are enjoying the lead. Pitch on the way. Breaking ball misses down and in, and the count goes to 2-2. I was saying about the Tigers having 8 import players on the roster at the time. And, it makes it a tough situation if you've got a certain amount of import players. It bumps people off the roster. You got to bide your time for an injury or poor play. There's a fastball swung on and missed in the dirt. Fielding it, the catcher Ishihara gets up and he fires to first. It'll be a strikeout, but 2-3 on the putout. Katsuda gone for the second out of the inning, and it's going to leave it all up to the catcher of the Carp, and that would be their Ishihara. So 2 Ishiharas catching here tonight. Kaki Ishihara standing in. He had himself a really good at-bat. His last at-bat, it was a 10-pitch at-bat to lead off the 3rd inning, and he ended up with a single. There's a fastball that comes up and in, and it knocks him down. He doesn't look all the impressed. There was an ejection the other night. The Carp were very sensitive about this. I forget who the player was for the Carp that got drilled in the head and he got carried off the field. I want to say it was Iori Yamazaki of the Giants had drilled a Carp hitter. And that's an automatic ejection in the NPB. In most of the Asian leagues, if you hit somebody in the head, you're gone. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Breaking ball misses down, and the count goes to 2-1. Yeah, you smoke somebody in the head, you're ejected, you're finished. Which, if it's a fastball, I get it. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. There's a ball that misses inside. Well, I've got it at 3-1. They've got it up at 3-0. Well, actually, it is 3-0 because all those dots I made for last at bat. There's a fastball missing up and away, and Ishihara is on with a 2-out walk. That'll bring up Yasusu Sasaki. So Sasaki coming to the plate. He is officially 1 for 2 tonight. He reached on an error and he doubled. He's got 2 runs driven in, or he scored 2 runs. He has hit the ball well, and he made that fantastic play in the last half inning at third base. If I'm not mistaken, it was last year there was a lot of talk about Sasaki. And I haven't had a chance to really see him. There's a breaking ball that goes all the way to the backstop. That's going to be a wild pitch. And the catcher, Ishihara, moves up into scoring position. So Ishihara is at second base. That ball was in the left-handed batter's box. So the right-hander ready to go. As he kicks and delivers, there's a fastball that misses upstairs. The count is 1-0 to Sasaki. So 2 balls and no strikes as the right-handed hitting. Sasaki waits. There's a fastball that misses outside. It's now 3-0. So the last 8 pitches that have been thrown by the reliever Fujiwara here have been, 7 of them have been for balls. So all of a sudden he's gone from being a strike throwing machine where now he can't find the zone. Looks like there are more changes defensively in the lineup for the Eagles. We'll have to get them as they come to bat. Right-hander kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball that catches the outside corner. Oh, I'm not so sure about that. 3 balls and 1 strike to Sasaki. Maybe the umpire wants to watch him swing the bat as well. Right-hander again working himself into the set position. Here comes the 3-1 offering. Breaking ball down and away, and it's swung on and missed. Helping him out, Sasaki. That's the sign of a young hitter. He's just so anxious. Jumping out of his socks, ready to hit anything. So 3 balls and 2 strikes to Sasaki. Again, the right-hander Fujiwara working to the set position. He checks the runner at second. Now he delivers. Breaking ball swung on, grounded up the middle, moving to his left and fielding it is the shortstop, Murray Biashi. He throws to first, and that is going to do it. Sasaki's gone on a ground out, 6-3. Nice play there by the shortstop of the Eagles. And that will do it here for the Carp in the last of the 4th. No runs in the inning. There was no hits, no errors. 1 runner left aboard. And your score as we now move to the top of the 5th inning. It is the Carp 6 and the Eagles 1. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple moments with all the action right after this. The Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. We're glad you guys can make it in tonight. Exhibition baseball between the Carp and the Eagles. More of it when we return right after this musical timeout.
Oh, hello. Oh, hey. Yep. I'm just sitting here listening to Freddie call another game here on YouTube. Oh, yeah, going really good. He's calling a great game, really exciting, lots of stuff going on. You're lucky it's commercial break right now. I got a second. Oh, yeah, of course I'm having a cold one. Oh, yeah, I got plenty of videos coming up this week. You should stop in, check them out, leave a like, tell other people. But, Freddie's coming back. I got to go catch the game. I will check in with you later. You have a good night, buddy. Bye.
Welcome back, everybody. The lefty Tamamura still on the mound as the first pitch delivered to Daisuke Nakajima is a fastball that misses way outside. The count is 1-0. Slated to come to bat will be Nakajima, Ishihara, and Soshi. We'll have to get the confirmation if there's been any changes to that. As the lefty delivers a fastball under the hands for a called strike, the count goes to 1-1. 10 Eagles have been retired in a row since the third out of the first inning. They are looking for some base runners. As the lefty delivers, there's a slow breaking ball missing down and away, and the count goes to 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike. Shogo Tamamura taking over for the starter Taka. As the lefty kicks and delivers, there's a breaking ball taken for a called strike, and the count goes even to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Again, the lefty kicks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on. It's grounded over to third. That's gobbled up by Sasaki. He throws to first, and that is going to retire Nakajima on a ground out 5-3 for the first out of the inning. So 1 up and 1 away, and that'll bring up the 8-hole hitter in Tsuyoshi Ishihara. Sasaki making some nice plays over there at third. That would be, by our count tonight, his 3rd assist of the evening. At 11 in a row now retired by Carp pitchers. As we said, Ishihara, he is our Japanese Alejandro Kirk. Here's the first pitch. Breaking ball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. If you've just joined us tonight, it is exhibition baseball between the Carp and the Eagles, NPB style. This game is in Okinawa. The home team is the Carp for this one. There's a fastball swung on, grounded softly to third. On the run, fielded by Sasaki. He throws to first. And another ground ball out. 5-3 in the books for out number 2. And that is going to leave it up to the right fielder in Yoshino Soshi. And don't forget, as we said before, we are going to be on for some more action, and we'll be try to squeeze another game or 2 in, but the games in Taiwan, I'm really excited for those. We were talking about it a couple innings earlier as the pitch comes on. It's a fastball taken for a called strike by Soshi. It'll be the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks and the China Trust Brothers are going to go at it. And then the Hawks will take on the Chinese Taipei or the Taiwanese World Baseball Classic team. There's a fastball swung on it. It is popped up over on the right side. Giving chase is the Carp right fielder. Looks like he's going to have room, and Tatsumi's going to make the catch. And that is going to do it. Another quick and easy inning here for the Carp pitchers, as that will retire the Eagles again in order. 1, 2, 3. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left aboard. Starting to be a pattern here for the Golden Eagles, as they are now done in their half of the 5th. Half of the game is in the books. We are going to the bottom of the 5th inning. Your score is the Carp 6 and the Eagles 1. Stay with us, everybody. We'll be back in just a few right after this musical timeout. Welcome back, everybody. The Eagles are going back to their bullpen. It's going to be Itsuki Ito on in relief. Also looks like we may have ourselves a new catcher for the Eagles as well. And we certainly do, as it is going to be Hikaru Ota. We're going to have to check to see where Ota is going to slot in the lineup. It's just a straight up switch for Ishihara, or if he is going to be in a different spot. So a new battery for the Golden Eagles, as we are here in the bottom half of inning number 5, and it'll be Hayashi, Futamata, and Sato to come to bat for the Carp here. So Ito has completed his tune-up tosses. We're ready to resume the action in the bottom of the 5th. He rocks himself into the windup and delivers. There's a fastball swung on, grounded up the middle, and it's going to be past the glove of the diving shortstop Moribayashi into center field. And just like that, Hayashi is aboard for the 3rd time tonight. He has a single and a walk to his name. He scored a pair of runs. He's been all over the base paths. So Hayashi aboard with a leadoff single, and that will bring up Suichi Futamata. And for Futamata, he himself has been a destroyer of the Eagles pitching tonight. He's 2 for 2. I'm going to have to double check to make sure it is Futamata who is coming to bat here. That's exactly who it is. So Futamata stepping in. He has 2 doubles and 2 trips. He's driven in 3 runs. And the first pitch is a fastball that catches the outside corner for a called strike. The count is 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. I know our friend Brandon asked, how's the weather to Titus? Of course, he is in the Sendai region. There's a fastball swung on it, has popped up on the infield, moving over underneath it. And again, the wind is taking it for a bit of a ride, and that's going to be put away by Kurikawa. Kurikawa moved over to third base after the shortstop Muniyama came out of the game, as Shigenawa went over to second and Moribayashi went over to shortstop. So that is 1 gone here. That is going to bring Keisuke Sato to the plate. Sato tonight officially 1 for 1. He's got a single and 2 RBIs. Also has a sacrifice fly. He hits a ground ball right to the second baseman. Shinagawa fields it. He underhand flips to second for 1, back to first. And the Eagles are going to get an unconventional 1-2-3 inning. It's going to be a double play, 4-6-3 variety. And that will do it here for the Carp in their half of the 5th inning. Well, they go in order, as I said, unconventionally. There was no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and nobody left the board. We are through 5 complete. Your score is the Carp 6 and the Eagles 1. We like to call this our Japanese halftime. This is where we're going to put the music on loop. We're going to go get ourselves a beverage. We'll come back to call the back end of this game with you in just a few minutes. So it is 6-1 for the Carp. Hang tight, everybody. We'll be back in just a few.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste. Hey, I hope you guys have been enjoying the game. My name is Hollis. I've got a YouTube channel called Another Hollis Build. I love baseball cards. I open up brand new product for you guys. I open up old stuff. I do breaks. I do auctions. All kinds of stuff concerning baseball. I'm Friars faithful, Padres to the end. I also love Garbage Pail Kids and my animals. I have a ton of animals. It's like a mini petting zoo here around my house. I also love my city, San Diego, baby. I take you all around the city and show you what's up. If you guys dig stuff like that, cruise on over and check it out. It's Another Hollis Build. If you dig it, subscribe. I'd really appreciate to have more follow me along on the journey. Hey, either way, you guys have a wonderful day or a beautiful, beautiful evening. No matter which one it is, make sure that you make it great, my friends. Big up Last Raps Baseball. Yeah, Freddie, let's go. One love and peace. Yeah, man.
Welcome back, everybody. We are going to be going to the top of the sixth inning, and I would expect that we're going to have to get the pencil and eraser out for a lot of changes eventually. Our friend Wolverine asked the question, does Fujiwara have good movement on his fastball compared to the first pitcher who was straight down the middle? I thought he did. Can't comment on the third pitcher, Ito, because it was a pretty quick inning for Ito, as he only threw in that half of the inning only 4 pitches. So I'd have to wait and see what he has to offer. Maybe they'll bring him back for another inning of work because he didn't have to break a sweat in that 5th inning. 6-1 is the scoreline. The Eagles got on the board. First pitch of the ball game, Naoki Sato deposited one into straightaway center field. Give the Eagles a early 1-0 lead. Carp responded with 3 runs in the bottom half of the first inning. It was all with 2 out. There was a runner on at first base, or was it at second base? First base, and it was ground ball by Sasaki. And the shortstop, Muniyama, made an error. Actually made a couple errors. Bobbled at fielding, and then he threw it away. And that put runners at second and third. And then it was Hayashi knocked home the first run with an RBI single, and then it was a RBI double off the bat of Futamata that brought home another run, and that made the scoreline 3-0. Carp added to their lead in the 3rd inning as a leadoff single by Ishihara, a double by Sasaki, and then a walk to Hayashi loaded the bases. Futamata doubled home a pair, and then a sac fly by Sato brought home a 3rd in that inning. And that made the scoreline at that point 6-1, and that is where we stand here. It looks like the Carp are going to the bullpen, or are they not? Nope, looks like Tamamura is still staying on the hill. This is going to be his 3rd inning of work. So that'll be inning number 3. Mike Cool Hooks is in here. We missed you with all the emojis. Glad to have you in the house. Thanks for stopping by for another season of baseball on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. I do want to mention something. Our friend Steve Rademacher brought it to my attention the other day. We used to have a fella who would come in and listen to some of the games. His name was Kenny Weaver. It actually took me a little bit by surprise, unfortunately. For Kenny, he passed away last month as he had pancreatic cancer, and so unfortunately, Kenny, who did pop into the streams from time to time, he will be sorely missed. Well, that brings Naoki Sato to the plate. He is leading off here in the top of the 6th. He squares the bunt, and he takes a breaking ball inside for ball 1. You get to meet some of the folks over time. We have a number of people who come in and into the stream over time. We get to see a lot of folks, and we've even met a few of the people on YouTube. There's a breaking ball swung on. It has popped up over on the left side of the infield backpedaling, and making the catch is Sasaki. Boy, with the wind out there, that's not very good. You got to turn and run for the ball. Almost turned that one into a cheap hit. So he is gone for the first out of the inning as Sato on the pop out to third base. And that is going to bring Akira Shiganaga to the plate. This is going to be his first at bat. As we mentioned, he comes in defensively into the ball game. There's a first pitch breaking ball that is lifted foul, and the count is quickly 0-1. The Chave says, unfortunate. Also, Gracie Lynn, too, remembers Kenny. And so, unfortunately, we will be missed. As we said, we get a chance to meet some of the folks that Kenny I did not meet. Breaking ball, ticket for a called strike in the streams. We have had chance to have for folks for coffee. Or bite to eat. It's always been good fun on the channel. There's a breaking ball swung on and fouled away, and the count goes to 0-2. It's amazing what happens. This is, I think it was this year number 5 or year number 6 that we've been doing this. Amazing how time flies when you're having fun. I used to work with a guy years ago, and we said that the hours and the minutes, hours and the weeks drag by, but the months and the years fly by. And isn't that the truth? Breaking ball down and in, and the count goes to 1-2 on Shiganaga. Carp pitchers have retired 14 in a row thus far since the first inning. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into left field, moving over underneath it with plenty of room to make the catch. Is the left fielder Sato, and that is going to retire Shiganaga for the second out of the inning. So 2 outs here, and that'll bring up the shortstop and Itsuki Muribayashi. And for Muribayashi tonight, his contribution to the offense has been a ground out to third and a strikeout in his 2 trips. It's not like we're witnessing a lot of strikeouts here in this ball game. The pitchers for the Carp have only struck out 3 Golden Eagles by my count. Breaking ball misses down and away, and the count is quickly 1-0. On the flip side of the coin, the Eagles pitchers to this point, at least in my books, have only got 2 strikeouts recorded. There's a fastball swung on, and it's grounded foul past the third base coach's box. Gracie Lynn said she found us in 2023. Or 2022. Yeah, it's been a while now. It's been interesting. There's a fastball swung on. It's grounded the other way past the glove of the diving second baseman into right field. Katsuda just couldn't get to it. That's going to be a 2-out single here for Muribayashi. Gracie Lynn says the lack of strikeouts is one of the favorite things about Japanese baseball. Yeah, the big part of that is their 2-strike approach. I think I mentioned, I talked about it before, that I think it was a Baseball America podcast. Looks like we're going to have a pinch runner in here for the shortstop, Muribayashi, if I get the number correct. Looks like it's going to be Kotaro Kamori. Slated to come to bat here is Kurikawa. That's exactly who it is. And Carter Stewart Jr., the pitcher for the Fukuoka Ball Club, was saying facing Japanese hitters is far more difficult than facing the North American hitter. North American hitters, you can walk the ladder with your plus fastball and do some swings and pop-outs and strike hitters out. And he says the Japanese hitters, they just flick their hands at it and do anything they can to get it in play. That pitch misses up to Kurikawa, 1 ball and no strikes. And he's not wrong. They have definitely a different 2-strike approach than what the North American hitters bring. Here's the 1-0. Breaking ball, ticket for a called strike. And the thing is that in the North American game, it's almost like we're trying to candy cane everybody to hit a certain way. I mean, there's only a certain amount of Aaron Judges and Juan Sotos and Brent Rookers and others to go, Shohei Ohtani's to go around. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Breaking ball swung on, grounded softly to second. Fielded neatly by Katsuda, he throws to first, and that's going to retire Kurikawa on a ground out, 4-3. And that is going to do it here for the Eagles in their half of inning number 6. They finally get a knock. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and a runner left aboard. It was their first hit since the first inning. Your score as we move to the last half of the 6th. It is a 6-1 Carp lead. We'll be back in just a moment. Looks like we're going to have another change as the manager, Mickey, is out. And we'll bring that for you back when we return right after this musical timeout. Right back, everybody. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be Seiru Uchi taking over on the hill here for the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles. There are some defensive changes that we're going to have to get for you as well, as we'll try to keep up the pace here. Uchi coming on in relief as he'll take over here. He's going to be the 4th pitcher used by the Golden Eagles in this one. They'll be facing the 8, 9, and 1 hitters, slated to face the 8, 9, and 1 hitters in the Carp batting order. Tatsumi Nishikawa and the top of the order in Hirakawa. This is another piece here with the team down 6-1 at this point. We're talking about at-bats specifically. This is where you want to see competitive at-bats from your team. Where's your character? Are you grinding out the at-bats? Are you able to get in there and fight, or are you just given up when you get to the plate, specifically for the Golden Eagles, obviously, because they are up, or they're down by 5 runs here. Do they have fight to grind out the at-bats to get back in the ball game? Well, the right-hander Uchi on in relief as he is ready to face Tatsumi, and the first pitch is a fastball swung on. It is going to be lifted into left field. It's going to get down for a base hit. And Tatsumi is aboard on the first pitch that he sees with a leadoff single. Welcoming Uchi to the game, he is aboard, and that will bring up the shortstop in Itsumu Nishikawa. And as I mentioned, we're going to have to keep our eyes peeled on the changes that are going on now in the ball game, as there are now some changes in different spots. As I said earlier, my ability to read kanji is almost non-existent. You really get to appreciate just the dialect on how that is. You see the names, you see the characters. I don't want to call them characters, that might be insulting, but just the language on how it's communicated. Our letters might look like sticks to them, and it kind of looks like a bunch of sticks to us in a way for native speakers who speak, whether it be English or European languages, the alphabet. I was at a friend's in Japan, and his daughter was learning, and I was watching her write, much like how they used to do cursive writing in North America, and it was beautiful to watch, actually. Fastball, take it for a called strike. It was almost like art. So Nishikawa in the hole at 0-1. He's batting from the left side here against the right-handed throwing Uchi. It's supposed to be Hirakawa and Katsuda to follow here, but as I said, we'll have to keep an eye on any changes in the lineup. They throw over to first base, and diving back in time is the runner Tatsumi. As of right now, I don't see any Carp changes in the lineups. Although I do see a change in at shortstop as Murray Biashi's day is done. Then the pinch runner over, it's Yukiya Ito at short. And the pitch is a fastball that misses down and away to Nishikawa, and the count goes even at 1-1. And as I mentioned before, Hikara Oda is behind the plate. He took over for Tsuyoshi Ishihara. So 1-1 strike it is. As the righty holds set. There goes the runner. It's a fastball that misses down. Did he hold up? It looked like maybe he just bluffed his way. Probably would have been a good pitch to run on. It's 2-1 strike now to Nishikawa. So 2-1 strike. Runner at first, Tatsumi. Nobody gone here in the bottom of the sixth. Carp enjoying their 5-run lead. There's a breaking ball swung on and might have got 2 for the price of 1. Might have clipped the catcher and the home plate umpire. Running the count now to 2-2. Nothing more would probably drive you crazy as getting clipped with a foul ball that got both the catcher and the home plate umpire. Right-hander against the left-hander. He works himself to the set position. As he holds to the set, here's the pitch. Breaking ball swung on a miss. There goes the runner. The throw down to second base is not in time. We haven't seen if they've got replay. I don't think there's any replay in the practice games here. Stolen base for Tatsumi. Strikeout here. Nishikawa gone on strikes for the first out of the inning. If anything, he might have got him on the foot. The throw was on the right field side of second base. It looked like it was a little bit on the late side. Not a bad tag by the new shortstop, Ito. So runner now in scoring position. It brings Ren Hirakawa to the plate, who is 2 for 3 tonight. He's got a single and a double, and he's lined to left. First pitch on the way. Fastball swung on, lifted into left field. This ball could be trouble. Racing back is the left fielder and making a beautiful over-the-shoulder catch is Nakajima. And he's forced to go back to second base. Here's the runner, Tatsumi. Boy, Hirakawa's had some good at-bats here tonight. Gone now for the second out of the inning. That's going to bring up Naru Katsuda. My friend Gracie Lynn says that the Vancouver Whitecaps are on their way down with Thomas Mueller. Yeah, Whitecaps were a pretty good team last year. Got to absolutely 0 matches. Probably will be the same this year. I was saying that they've got a pretty nice deal on for the Vancouver Canadians here through the months of April, May, and June as that fastball is taken for a called strike. Counters 0-1 to Naru Katsuda. And the deal is it's $99 for, 9 games, so $11 a game. And it's a flex pass because they play 37 games in the month of June, and the flex pass will get you into, Flex pass will get you into any game you want, really. And you can use multiple tickets if you want to take somebody with you. Here comes the 0-1. Breaking ball catches the outside corner. Now goes to 0-2 on Katsu. So in a city where there's not a lot of deals, that's a pretty good deal for a sporting event. Once you get into July, August, even September, the crowd shows up. Seats become harder to get. It's a lot busier. But going in the months of April, May, and June, it can be 50-50 on the weather. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. on its way. Fastball swung on, grounded softly back to the pitcher, fielded by Uchi. Throws to first, and that is going to do it as Katsu is going to be retired on a ground out 1-3 for out number 3. Well, the Carp, they strand a runner. No runs in the inning. There was a hit, no errors, and 1 left to board. You're now through 6 complete innings. Your score is the Carp 6, the Eagles 1. Hang with us, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple moments with all the action right after this musical timeout on the Last Rouse Baseball YouTube channel. We'll be back in just a few.
Hello, this is Eric Fox, formerly of the Oakland A's and Texas Rangers baseball teams. If you want to learn about Japanese baseball, see Coach Fred of Last Raps Baseball. If you want baseball instruction, see Coach Fred. If you want to learn about golf, do not go to Coach Fred. Fred, what kind of club is this?
At Last Raps Baseball, we know baseball. That's right, everybody. We know baseball. We certainly don't know golf, but we can tell you this, that the Carp have a new pitcher on the mound. They are turning it over to number 66. And this is going to be Atsushi Endo, as he will take over in relief here to face the Eagles. So the third pitcher used tonight, Atsushi Endo on in relief. Well, who's he going to face? Well, it's slated to be Yukiya Ito, Daichi Suzuki, and Daisuke Nakajima. We'll see if the Eagles are going to go into their bench any further or not. They certainly want to get some of their players some swings. That's the one thing a lot of players want early on. They do want to get some swings in the spring. It is going to be Ito here to lead it off. Get their timing going early. I was saying, I've often said this, major league players, not just major league players, professional players want to play every day, because when you're used to seeing that type of pitching every day, hard to play part-time, hard to play 2-3 times a week, which makes those bench players in Major League Baseball who can do it all the more valuable. There's a fastball swung on and grounded foul past the third base bag. Count is 0-1 to Ito. Ito has one of the 4 Eagle hits tonight. He doubled in the first inning, was left stranded. He's also grounded to third in his 2 trips to the plate. As the right-hander Endo gets the sign and he rocks himself into the delivery. And now he kicks and fires. There's a fastball swung on. It is going to be popped up into shallow center field. Moving over underneath it with plenty of room to make the catch is Hirakawa, and that will do it here for Ito for out number 1. So 1 gone, and that'll bring up the designated hitter in Daichi Suzuki. Or will it? Looks like we're going to have a pinch hitter here. This is going to be number 63. And who is 63? This could be Daiki Ira. So Ira is going to be hitting for Suzuki. And the first pitch on the way. Slow breaking ball that misses upstairs. Ira here batting in a very close stance from the right side. Heading the count here at 1-0 as the right-hander rocks into the windup and delivers. Fastball swung on, and this is going to be lifted foul into the seats. Brandon Jensen asked earlier, what do I think the attendance is here tonight? Well, not a very good one, I can say that. Also, the umpires on the bases are all wearing jackets, and this is a game that was mid-afternoon. So Okinawa, they often call it the Maui or the Hawaii of Japan. Well, maybe not today with everybody bundled up on the base paths. In terms of the umpires, that is. The 1-1 pitch on the way is a fastball that catches the outside corner, and the count goes to 1-2. So a ball and 2 strikes. New catcher for the Carp. It does look like, I think Ishihara's day is done, as we're expecting some changes. I'll have to get that for you as well. There's a fastball missing upstairs. Count goes to 2-2 on Ira. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Don't forget to bookmark the channel. We'll be on the airwaves again, but we haven't set our schedule yet. As the season gets closer, they'll put more games up in advance. There's a breaking ball, take it for a call, 3rd strike. Ira stood there like the house by the side of the road. He watched it go by for out number 2. Talking about approaches at the plate and balls that get put in play. That was certainly one I think he wants to have back, as he is gone for out number 2, and it is slated to bring up Daisuke Nakajima. We'll see if the left fielder is indeed coming up. And it does look like he is still staying in the game. Here comes the first pitch to Nakajima. It's even a slower breaking ball that misses inside, and the count is 1-0. Once we get closer to the season, we'll start putting some games. I know our friend Gracie Lynn's going to pump a fist. I'm going to be back east next month. Fastball swung on, grounded to first. Fielded neatly by the first baseman, Hayashi, who wins the race to the bag, and that is going to do it. A very easy 1-2-3 inning. A ground out to 3 to end it. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left the board for the Eagles in their half of the 7th. We're going to the bottom of the 7th inning. It is a 6-1 Carp lead. We're going to give you our rendition of Take Me Out to the Ball Game, and then we'll come back and carry on with this chat here when we return. Hang with us, everybody. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be Ishihara, Sasaki, and Hayashi to come to bat here in the bottom of the 7th inning for the Carp, and it is still going to be the right-hander Seiro Iuchi who is on in relief. He followed up the pitchers Fujiwara and Ito. Kojo went the first 3 innings. Fujiwara and Ito pitched the next 2 frames. That is where we stand right now. So Ishihara standing in, ready for the first offering, and it's a fastball missing way upstairs for ball 1. Ishihara, Sasaki, and Hayashi slated to come to bat. Ishihara stands very deep in the batter's box as the right-hander Uchi ready to deliver, and the pitch is a fastball that catches the inside corner for called strike, and the count is 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike it is. Uchi rocking into the windup as he kicks and fires. It's a breaking ball that catches the inside corner, and the count now goes to 1-2. Ball and 2 strikes. Again, the right-hander rocking into the windup. And he kicks and fires. There's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count runs even to 2-2. Just getting it caught up on the out-of-town scoreboard. 8th inning, the Fighters have a 4-3 lead over the Dragons. The Marines and the Giants are locked at 3, and that game is in the 7th. Of course, this one here, it's 6-1 for the Carp over the Golden Eagles. As time has been called, as Uchi goes down to get to the rosin bag. So the right-hander Uchi kicks and delivers. There's a fastball that misses down, and the count now runs full to Ishihara. I guess the only question I would have for Gracie Lynn is if she's actually, I don't know if she, well, I think she's still in Costa Rica right now. If you're going to make your way to the game that you had mentioned. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball swung on. Ball is lifted into right center field. This ball could be trouble giving chase, and running it down is Sato with a nice catch. He had to get on his horse, and he's able to haul it in. He had to come a long way to get that one. Ishihara is going to be retired for the first out of the inning. He's gone for out number one. It's going to bring Yasusu Sasaki to the plate. Sasaki tonight officially 1 for 3. He's got a double. He's reached on an error and grounded out. He scored a pair of the Carp runs in this one. Breaking ball catches the outside corner for called strike, and the count is 0-1. So no balls and a strike. As the pitch on the way is a breaking ball swung on and lifted foul. The count goes to 0-2. That is the game that we are questioning. Yeah, I still have when I was in Costa Rica, I bought a jacket, a Costa Rican Nacional jacket. It was, I think Jogo was their manufacturer, their sponsor that had it at the time. Fastball swung on and fouled away. And I wear it not frequently, but I probably wear it 2 to 3 times a month and always get a second glance as the people wonder who that big Tico is walking around. No balls and 2 strikes to Sasaki as the right-hander Uchi rocks himself into the windup. Looks like the weather is deteriorating, and there's a fastball swung on it. It's going to be lined right to the shortstop's glove, and a nice play there by Ito as he picks it off the surface. It looks like the rain has a cometh. And so Sasaki's gone for out number 2. Looks like there's a bit of a drizzle going on. So I wonder in the spring training how much that they would continue to play in something like this in the event that the weather conditions deteriorate. Looks like it's a bit of a mist more than anything else. As we are here in the bottom half of inning number 7. You don't want to get anybody injured early on in the spring. 2 gone here on the bottom of the 7th. Uchi ready to go as he rocks himself into the windup and delivers. There's a fastball swung through and missed. The count is 0-1. I've still got it as Hayashi at the plate. Yeah, that is a fastball taken for a called strike. The count now goes to 0-2. And the pitch is spiked in the dirt. Oh, good stop there by Oda. It squirts away up the first baseline. It is Yuto Watanabe who is actually pinch hitting here in this situation. I couldn't tell exactly who it is. So Yuto Watanabe, as Hayashi's day is done. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. As I said, spring training, you don't get a whole lot of updates. Ground ball hit over to third. That's fielded neatly by Kurikawa. He fires to first, and that is going to retire Watanabe on a ground out 5-3. He's in the books for the 3rd out of the inning. And that is going to do it here for the Carp in the bottom of the 7th. They go in order. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left aboard. Your score here as we now move to the top of the 8th inning. It is the Carp 6 and the Eagles 1. Stay with us, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple moments. As we appreciate for hanging in with us on the Last Rouse Baseball YouTube channel. Right back after this. Welcome back, everybody. We are moving ourselves to the top of the 8th inning, and our friend Gracie Lynn says it's impressive that jacket still fits. Oh, yeah, it was a top drawer jacket when I got it, and it's still pretty good. The only difference is it probably was a little big when I got it, so I've actually grown into it now. I think that would be the secret more than anything else. Looks like there's some changes defensively for the Carp. And, of course, at this point in time in the game, as we move to the top of the 8th inning, it's going to be a bit of a challenge to get you all those changes. As I said, I was saying the other day that a lot of people ask sometimes, what do I use to follow the games? I use sports. I've been using Sports Navi in the spring training. That's a Yahoo site. They do have an app, but unfortunately, depending on where you're at, North Americans aren't typically able to get the app. It is going to be Hikaru Oda slated to lead it off, and then it'll be Soshi and Sato to follow. As the first pitch is a fastball that misses up and away for ball one. So 1-0. So I'm just trying to keep my eyes peeled on the potential. As the pitch is swung on and it's grounded softly over to short, fielded neatly by the shortstop, and that is Nishikawa, who fires the first. And Hikaru Oda is out quickly. Ground out 6-3 for the first out of the inning. It's going to bring up Yoshino Soshi to the plate. As I mentioned, I'm looking at the. Looks like that. And we haven't even caught up on Yuta Watanabe, where he's going to go. I assume he's going to go to first base. And this is going to bring up number 51 to the plate. I believe this is Yuya Ogo. I'll do a double check on that one. Soshi's day is done. And the first pitch is a split finger pitch swung on and missed. It's exactly who it is. It's Yuya Ogo. Ogo saw action in the game the other night for Tohoku. As the 0-1 pitch is on the way. Fastball misses upstairs, and the count now goes to 1-1. And that's not even the oldest jacket I got. I was sporting today a Arsenal jacket that I purchased probably back in 2000. Actually, I bought it the same year. It was about 2003, I think. As that pitch is swung on and missed, and the count now goes to 1-2 on Ogo. Had an Arsenal jacket that went back to 98. That one finally has been retired. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Fastball swung on and lifted foul into the seats on the third base side of home plate, and the count remains at 1-2. Yeah, the clothing today is certainly that. One of the things if you're looking for cheap, I say cheap, inexpensive, maybe is the better word, inexpensive soccer shirts, even the baseball jerseys, you go into the knockoff places in Vietnam and you can get all kinds, and they're pretty good. Some of them are really well made. Ground out 1-3 off the bat. Ogo makes him the second out of the inning. 2 gone will bring up the top of the order in Naoki Sato. So since the first inning, the Eagles have only got 1 hit. They have, in the inning since the first, so after Daichi Suzuki lined out in the first inning, "21 of the last 22 outs, or 22 or 21 batters have been retired of the last 22. Looks like we got a pitching change here for the Carp. Interesting that they're doing a mid-inning change. That ought to slow things down a little bit. They're going to be going, looks like they're bringing in number 26. So this is going to be Takahisa Masuda as he is entering the ball game. So 2/3 of an inning for Endo. Looks like. Actually, sorry, inning and 2/3 for Endo. So Takahisa Masuda coming in to get a little bit of work. I wonder if they did that intentionally. Maybe he's on a count, or maybe they Just want to get him where he has to come in the middle of an inning. But it's been pretty smooth sailing so far for the Carp pitchers in this one. Very, very strange indeed. And it's supposed to be Naoki Sato to come to bat here. And we're just going to wait and see if he indeed will come and face the right-hander who's just completing his tune-up tosses. As I say, unlike in a game, you don't really see, they didn't even bring the pitching coach out to the mound. They just told the pitcher in the ball game, Endo, get off the mound, and they were bringing somebody else in. That was kind of funny as well. They do have bullpens. We noticed in the game where Tohoku was the home team, they have bullpen mounds. As Sato steps in, he's ready to get going here. But the bullpen mounds were down the foul line. I haven't seen that here where the Carp play. There's a fastball swung on and lifted foul. It looks like theirs are under the stands. So that ball is fouled away. 1 strike here to Sato. Sato has accounted for the only run for the Golden Eagles tonight. The first pitch he saw from the starter Taka was drilled into almost straightaway center field. And that was where the offense has ended for the Eagles. He is 1 for 3 tonight. Pitch on the way, breaking ball just misses low and away, and the count goes even at 1-1. So a ball and a strike. Pitch on the way, breaking ball now catches the outside corner, and the count goes to 1-2 on Sato. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. I read some news around the NPB that was it Yoshida, the pitcher who was the first overall pick in the draft a few years ago, who had Tommy John surgery last year. There's a fastball swung on. It's grounded up the middle into center field, and it's going to be a base hit for Sato. So he has provided 40% of the offense tonight. That's his second hit, and that'll be the end of the night for him. As that'll now bring up Akira Shigenaga to the plate. Gracie Lynn asked the question, says, describing the stadium sounds like it's not a normal facility. Yeah, it would be like a spring training. They're in Okinawa, and I forget on the islands. I think 6 teams are on that island and 6 are on another. And the facilities are, as there's a fastball that comes inside and almost hits Shigenaga. The count is 1-0. I would say that the facilities are, of course, not even to the minor league standards or the standards of Arizona or Florida for the Cactus or the Grapefruit League. And they don't have as many fans. Certainly in this game here, Brendan Jensen said, how many fans are there? And I said, probably 1,000 or 1,500. And then they panned the crowd again. And I'm going, well, I don't know if they're at 1,000 because the weather's not very good. Kind of miserable, to be honest. Overcast, cloudy, spitting rain. Umpires on the bases are in jackets, which tells me it's probably this time of the year. Oh, and he's picked off the runner at first base. Oh, the pinch runner comes in to run for Sato, and he gets picked off. That would absolutely drive me insane if I was a manager. Number 48 was the runner on that one. That's Ryuya Taira. He gets picked off at first base, and that is going to end the inning. Picked off 1-3 for the third out, and that will do it here for the Eagles. That pretty much sums up the night for Tohoku. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and nobody left the board. We're going to the bottom of the 8th, and I'll continue to comment when I come back about Gracie Lynn's question about the facilities and what they're playing in there. But it's a neat little place. I wouldn't mind actually going and catching a bunch of games there. Knock that off my list as well. We'll be back in just a few, everybody. Your score as we go to the bottom half of the 8th. It is a 6-1 lead for the Carp. Stay with us. We'll be right back after this musical timeout.
I never really know what's going on. Look at me sometimes like all you want to do is run. Hear me out,
It is a 6-1 Carp lead. We'll be back in 30 seconds with all the action. Stay with us, everybody. Appreciate you for listening in on the Last Rouse Baseball YouTube channel. Welcome back, everybody. It is Seryuuchi who is back on for his third inning work, and he delivers a first pitch fastball down to Saichi Futamata. Futamata tonight is 2 for 3. He's got a couple of doubles and 3 RBIs in his 3 trips to the plate as the rain has picking up. There was a breaking ball taken for a called strike. Counts 1-1. I don't think that there is lights at this stadium either, as I commented the other day in Tohoku. So Gracie was asking about the weathers. Isn't the weather warm on these islands? Fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into deep left field, giving chase and looking up, and it's going to be off the wall, and it's going to be run down by the left fielder of the Eagles. And cruising into second with his second double of the afternoon is Soichi Futamata. So he's been a double machine today, 3 of them on the day. That is going to bring up Keisuke Sato to the plate. It's supposed to be anyway. Well, the temperature right now is 63 degrees, and the high was 64. Throughout the week, the high will be on Saturday, where it's slated to get up to 70. So they often call it the kind of the Hawaii of Japan is Okinawa. So this time of the year, obviously, we're in mid-February. I don't think the temperatures really get much lower than the 60-degree temps of where they're at. So we got a runner at second base. And the pitch is a fastball that runs up and in. It's slated to be Tatsumi at the plate. I don't think that is Tatsumi. We're going to have to take a look here, see if they've got themselves a pinch hitter, as it does look like that could be the case. This looks like it's Shoshi Nakamura. So he is in to hit for Keisuke Sato. So Shoshi Nakamura had an account at 1-0. There's a fastball that misses up, and the count now goes to 2-0. Have to keep my eyes on the changes a little different here. So back to the original question Gracie asked or said, like, what's the weather like? Well, it can be, depending upon where you're at. I mean, you know, when you look at the northeast, Hokkaido, it can be very, very wintry up there. A lot of snow. I've been in Tokyo where in January, late December, early January, fastball ticket for a called strike. You're going to get temperatures in the 60s for daytime highs. Of course, the overnight lows are usually in the 40s, upper 30s, low 40s. If you get snow in Tokyo, that's a big thing. A lot of people come running out to take a look because it's not something that's regular. I think I've seen snow in Tokyo a couple of times during that time, but you know, nothing super major. Here's the 2-1 pitch. As the right-hander holds set, now delivers. Fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into straightaway center field, and it's going to get all the way. It's going to get over the head of the center fielder, and it's going to be picked up. Into score is going to come Futamata. And so Nakamura has got himself a RBI triple as he stands in at third. And they've increased their lead to 7-1, have the Carp. So it is a Carp uprising here, and that is going to bring Kosuke Tatsumi, or slated to bring Kosuke Tatsumi to the plate. So I guess the interesting question is what do they do with these facilities down in the summertime? You know, you think about it, like there was at talks pre-pandemic that they were talking about expanding the Japanese league by 2 teams. They were talking about the Okinawa Blue Ocean being the 13th team, and then I forget, maybe it was Kanazawa being the 14th team. There's a fastball swung on. This ball's lined into right center field. It's going to get down for a base hit. And that's going to be a base hit single here for Tatsumi, and he's going to plate home. Or did he get to second base on that? Maybe that's a double. It's going to be a double here. Let's take a look at that again. We're almost socked in with the clouds. That ball was hit in the right center field. Was cut off. I didn't think he was going to be able to get all the way to second. And that's going to bring in another run here as it's an 8-1 lead for the Carp. Eight runs, 13 hits, no errors, 1-5-1 for the Golden Eagles, but it was that big error that blew it open as Muniyama was playing soccer. This is going to bring Atsumu Nishikawa up to the plate. Nishikawa tonight looking for his first hit. He's 0 for 3. He's struck out twice and grounded out. Nobody out here in the 8th, and there's a breaking ball swung on and grounded foul. Count is 0-1. Makes you wonder why they would maybe keep Uchi in there. But back to the facilities, it's a good question because their farm teams aren't there. So I'm not exactly sure where they would probably look to add teams. I would think that, Okinawa was one spot they were talking about. I think Kanazawa in the north would be another. Breaking ball misses upstairs. Count goes to 1-1. I mean, you pretty much got the Tokyo area covered and Osaka. So, do you put a team in Nara halfway between Kanazawa and Osaka? Maybe. Do you put another team up into the northeast? I'm not sure. There's a fastball swung on, belted, and this ball is going to get over the head of the right fielder, Ogo, and that's going to get another run in here for the Carp. And the runs are just being poured in. That's going to be a double here as Tatsumi comes across to score. Nishikawa with an RBI double, so he gets into the act. As Tatsumi scores all the way from first base. And that now extends the lead, at least on my books, to 9-1. Not sure why they're playing so shallow. They just blistered a couple balls over their heads. Get the no doubles defense. You want to have a no triple defense. Well, that's going to bring the top of the order to the plate, and it's going to be Ren Hirakawa. He is 2 for 4 today. He's got a single and a double to his name. And there is a fastball that misses down, and the count goes to 1-0. Gracie Lynn says, what about Kyoto? I don't think Kyoto is as big as center, and it's very close to Osaka. It's maybe 20 minutes by train. Kanazawa further in the north, Nara in a different direction. Fastball swung on, grounded down the first base line, and it gets through the first baseman into right field. That's going to get another run in. I don't think that's going to be an error. Getting over to make the play was Ito, and he lost his footing, it looked like. And the ball ended up getting through him. And the next thing you know, here we go. We got another run on the board, and that's a 10 spot for the Carp, as they are now extended their lead up by 9. We'll watch that again. I see what happened there. He was getting over to field the ball, and as I remembered, it's an all-dirt infield. It won't be an error charged on it. He was getting over to Carp, and the ball took a funny hop and ended up going back toward the 4-hole. And then ended up getting by him, and that's the way it stood. It's slated to bring up the second baseman, Naro Katsuda, and that's exactly who is hitting here. And the biggest challenge, I think, with the NPB would be as there's a breaking ball swung on and missed. Count goes to 0-2 on Katsuda. Is the talent level. I know that the industrial leagues do have some talented players. I guess the question would be: do you have enough arms? I don't know if they have enough arms for it to work without it getting too watered down. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Is Uchi ready to deliver? Kicks and fires. Fastball misses upstairs, and it goes to 1-2. Brings a smile to Katsuda's face. At least he can laugh it off a little bit, but I don't know if I'm laughing when I got 90 plus miles an hour flying at my head. Trying to get through this ball game here as the rain has picked up quite a bit. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Pitch on the way. Fastball swung on, grounded, foul past the first base bag, and the count remains at 1-2. Yeah, well, the problem is if you're going to add more international players, I think what the Japanese would have to do is something like the Europeans do, where they say, well, you can't have a shortstop or a catcher be import. You can pick one or the other, or they're going to have to do something along those lines. In the event that you expand the league, there's a breaking ball swung on. It's going to be lifted into the seats just down the third baseline. Count remains at 1-2. Which could be something that obviously they may consider and want to look to explore, but there's been talk about it, and I guess we'll have to wait and see. I'd be curious to see how that would shape up. I mean, they did expand the minor leagues. They have, 2 extra teams. Fastball misses up. And with 2 extra teams, obviously they're trying to get players that are professional ready. So I would think if I was betting, I would say by 2030 you could see a couple more teams in Japan at the NPB level. Here's the 2-2. Fastball taken for a called third strike. Oh, Katsuda stood there like the house by the side of the road. He watched it go by for out number 1. He's in the books for the first out, and that is slated to bring up Takaki Ishihara, but I'm not sure if we're going to see him come to bat. Or maybe we are. Here he comes. Yeah, it is Ishihara. And I think what happened here tonight, because Ishihara started the game behind the plate as the catcher, and it was Futamata who was the DH. So I saw something, because obviously it's a practice game here. They ended up just switching him. He's now the DH in the game, and the catcher went from the DH to the catching position. Breaking ball misses down. Obviously, they want to get him his at-bats. It's 1 for 3 today and a walk. You start looking at other locations of where you might want to put a team. You have to get the map out. You have to start looking what would make feasible sense. Here's the pitch. 1-0 misses down. Now 2-0 here to Ishihara. Would Nagasaki make a reasonable spot to put a team? That I don't know. Here comes the 2-0 pitch. There's a fastball that misses down, and the count goes to 3-0. So 3 balls and no strikes. Right-hander delivers. It's a fastball taken for a called strike. So the rain is just picking up. So, you think about some of the areas where there are teams. Kobe had a team. Obviously, they were the Oryx Blue Wave, and they merged with the Kintetsu Buffaloes. So Kobe has a stadium, being Hodomoto Field, that they share with the Buffaloes. Kind of makes you wonder if they would get another crack at a team. Fastball swung on and fouled straight back. Count is 3-2. And it's a pretty large venue. It's, population, when you start looking at it, that would be significantly over 1 million people. Would Kawasaki be a spot for a team as well? When you're starting to look at some of the populations. As they throw over to first base, and diving back in time is the base runner. You have to start looking at where the best spots to be would be. As I said, Kobe, I'm not sure, just outside of that Osaka area, could they have a team, and would they be able to survive there? As that ball's popped up into right field, moving in underneath it is Ogo. There to make the catch, and he's going to be gone, is Ishihara for the second out of the inning. He's going to leave it all up to Yasusu Sasaki. Yasusa Sasaki is striding into the dish. He's 1 for 4 tonight. He's doubled. He's scored a pair of runs. He's reached on an error, grounded out, and lined out in his 4 trips to the plate. Uchi leans in, gets the sign as he works to the belt. Kicks and delivers. Fastball swung on. This is lasered down the right field line. Is it going to stay fair? Or is it just going to slice foul? And it just slices foul. Boy, he's hit some balls hard tonight. He lined out to the shortstop. And he also had that double where he's missiled some foul balls. Like, he has really barreled up balls. His bat to ball skills are off the charts. He's got his batting gloves on, and he's got another set of batting gloves in his back pocket. Here's a fastball swung on it. It's hammered down the third baseline. Oh, what a fantastic play. That is some pretty good defense there by Kurikawa. Diving to the foul line, making the play, getting up and throwing him out. Looks like what Greg Nettles used to do for the Yankees back in the 70s and 80s. It's going to be a ground out 5-3 to end the inning, and that will do it here for the Carp in their half of the 8th. Well, damage done and more of it. 4 runs in the inning on the benefit of 5 hits. There were no errors, and there was 1 runner left aboard. Your scores, we move to the top of inning number 9. It is the Carp 10 and the Eagles 1. Stay with us, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple moments. With the 9th inning, we're either going to see 2 things happen. It is either going to be the greatest comeback in the history of exhibition play in Japan, or it is going to be a Carp victory. Either one we'll find out in a moment when we return. Top of the 9th inning is upon us. It is a Carp lead 10-1 over the Golden Eagles, and we will be back in just a couple moments with all the action right after this.
Well, you got to have an ace in the hole, a little secret that nobody knows. Life is a gamble, a game we all play, but you've got to save something for a rainy day. You've got to learn to play your cards right if you expect to win in life. Don't put it all on the line for just one roll. You've got to have an ace in the hole. Yeah.
Welcome back, everybody. It is Yuta Saito on the mound here as he's going to be facing Akira Shinagaka, who was up to bat when the pinch runner for Sato got picked off in the last half inning. Swings at the first base to Shinagawa, and he fouls that one away, and now he fouls at a fastball, and now the count is 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes to the Eagle hitter. And here comes the offering. It is a fastball that misses inside. Count goes to 1-2. Friend Gracie Lynn, it sounds like she's tapping out. This was a reasonably paced game tonight, I would have to say. We're under the 3-hour mark at the moment as that fastball is swung on. It is lifted down the right field line, giving chase with room. And there to make the catch is the right fielder, and that is Tatsumi. So 1 up and 1 away here, and that'll bring up Yukiya Ito. Gracie says she'll catch us in the next one, and that'll be great to have you. We're not sure when that next one's going to be. I'll try to see if I can squeeze something in on the weekend. I have a feeling it's going to be more towards next week when the Taiwan series begins. Fastball misses down and away, and the count is 1-0. No, it is Murray Biashi at the plate here. It must be Murray Biashi who is... They've done something similar where they're keeping him in to get him his at-bats. That fastball misses down. It's now 2-0. Just like I said about with the catcher and the DH flipping for the Carp. Fastball swung on, chopped over to third, fielded by Sasaki, throws on the run, and he is going to get the runner. He threw it a little bit offline. It's going to go ground out 5-3. So 2 gone. It's going to bring up slated to bring up the third baseman, Kurikawa, who made that outstanding play to end the last half inning. Of course, our friend Gracie Lynn, big supporter of our channel, and we always appreciate you popping in, whether it's regular season, exhibition, whatever it might be. Well, it looks like we have a pinch hitter, and it goes to the training or the development numbers, so we're going to have to take a look at that. The development number, I'll have to see which player is getting the opportunity here. Always popular triple-digit number. And so we'll have to see if we can get a number off of the pinch hitter here. I love the triple-digit number. There's a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count now goes to 2-0. So Kurikawa's day is done. And the pitch on the way as the rain has really picked up. Fastball swung on and fouled away. 2 balls and a strike. So this is Katsura Mizukami at the plate. Pitch on the way. Fastball swung on, and he lines this one into right field. Coming in hard. Oh, he dives and can't get it. This could be an inside-the-park home run, depending on how the runner can run. Rounding second and heading to third. Let's see if they're going to send him home. Are they going to send him? And no, they're going to throw on the brakes. So it's going to be a triple for Mizukami. So Katsura Mizukami. I mean, I don't know what you're doing if you're the right fielder. Looks like it's actually Hirakawa who's moved over to right field. This time, all he's got to do is stop the ball, keep it in front of him, whatever else, give him the single. Tries to make an outstanding diving play and ends up missing the ball, goes all the way to the fence. That was in shallow right field, so the center fielder had to come a long way to have to get over to have to get it. So a triple for Mizukami, and it's going to bring up Hiroto Kobakata to the plate. And Kobakata, who's pinch hitting here, takes a fastball outside. And our friend Brandon Jensen says that, yeah, I saw that earlier today that Wilson wasn't going to be suspended. Interesting. Fastball misses outside, and the count is 2-0. I guess they got they must have went to the review and saw that what had happened on the previous play where tried to decapitate the head of Nathan McKinnon. Fastball taken for a called strike, and the count's now 2-1 to Kobakata. Kobakata chokes up slightly off the end of the bat. Yeah, the pitch is on the way. It's a fastball missing down and away, and the count goes to 3-1. 3 balls and a strike. This game is all but in the books here as Eagles are down to their final out. Getting the right-hander leaning in, getting the sign from his catcher. He's working himself into the set position. 3-1 on the way. Fastball misses down. That's going to be ball 4. The conditions here are absolutely abysmal right now. It's supposed to bring up Daiki Iri to the plate. You say absolutely abysmal. Rain is a cometh. And it's cometh a lot. So it brings Erie to the plate, batting from the right side. He's got runners on the corners, 2 gone here in the top of the 9th inning. Carp enjoying a 10-1 lead as the right-hander Saito gets the sign from his catcher as he works himself to the set position. Now delivers fastball swung on. It's grounded softly over to short. Fielded neatly by Nishikawa. He throws to first, and that is going to do it. That's a ground out 6-3 to end the ball game. And mercifully, it comes to an end for the Golden Eagles, who dropped this decision 10-1. They had a 9-5 lead in the last game, and they blew it in the 9th inning. And now they get absolutely tattooed by the Carp. No runs in the inning. There was a hit, no errors, and there were 2 runners left aboard. Your final score is the Carp 10, the Eagles 1. Stay with us, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple of moments and wrap this one all up for you right after this from our friend, Steve Rademacher.
Happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you. Each smile comes back again. Who cares about the clouds when we're together? Just sing a song and think about sunny weather. Happy trails to you until we meet again.
Like the sweet tones of Steve Rademacher breaking out some songs. We figured we'd share that with you here before the end of the night. Well, everybody, the final score here tonight was 10-1 for the Carp. Just a quick recap. The scoring for the Eagles, well, it started in the first inning on the first pitch of the ball game. Naoki Sato deposited a solo shot to almost straightaway center field. And that's where it ended for the Eagles. It was all Carp after that. Carp scored 3 in the first. Everything came after an error from the shortstop, Rui Muniyama. It was Muniyama who bobbled the ground ball off the bat of Sasaki. And that ended up scoring the first run. Katsu came in to score. And then it was the Hayashi knocked home Sasaki, and then bringing home the third run of the inning. Hayashi was off the bat of Fudamoto, who doubled him home. And that made the scoreline 3-0 at that point. Carp added 3 more in the third inning. And then they added to their tally in the 8th as they stuck 4 more on the board to go 10-1 as their final. I'm not going to recap everything tonight like we do in the regular season or in those games, but that you kind of get the gist of it there. It was ugly. It was often. Carp win 10-1. Other scores from around the NPB, it was a 3-3 final between the Giants and the Marines. The Fighters knocked off the Dragons 5-3, and that is it for exhibition play or practice games for the NPB tonight. All right, everybody, we will be back on the airwaves again the next few days. We'll post up our schedule as we see fit. Not exactly sure when that is going to happen, but we will keep you guys up to date, and hopefully you guys can join us for more action in the next couple of days. Have a great night, everybody. We'll catch you again soon on the Last Rouse Baseball YouTube channel. Appreciate everybody in for being here with us tonight. Have a great night, everybody.